Now it's time for today's Asia Live. So welcome to Asia Live today, and this week a topic which is making China think back to its past. In 1966, Mao sought to consolidate his political domination over the country. He aimed at the Chinese youth, turning them into glorified Red Guards, part of their role to eradicate anything associated with the cultural symbols of traditional China. It was the Cultural Revolution. Now, though, those who at the time were Red Guards are coming out of the shadows through the micro-blogging site Weibo, as France 24's Joris Zimmerman found out, repenting Red Guards and causing quite a stir.
Wang runs a stud farm of 35 horses. Son of a high-ranking military officer, he belongs to the Chinese elite. However, Wang has decided to speak out about the past and his time as a Red Guard during the Cultural Revolution. Today, he bitterly regrets the everyday violence he inflicted upon the people.
Brutalizing people was like drinking water. We did what we wanted. Most of the time we used our fists and our feet. We fought against counter-revolutionaries, anyone we considered to be an enemy of the people. Any chance we had, we didn't miss it. We were fighting almost every day.
Wang is not the only one to speak out publicly. Several former Red Guards have recently posted apology letters online, asking forgiveness for having denounced and killed innocent people. But public debate is complicated. Official memorials of the Cultural Revolution are forbidden. Now a few individuals have set up personal museums away from the main cities, such as Beijing in northern China.
Here you can see the announcements which launched the Great Cultural Revolution on May 16th, 1966.
However, Lei Zhengyang doesn't condemn the Cultural Revolution. He's a staunch admirer of Chairman Mao and has gathered together former Red Guards, some who don't feel guilty.
You have to understand that if we didn't participate together, we would be considered anti-revolutionaries. Everyone who took part, everyone who wore the Red Guards armband, there is no sense of guilt there.
This lack of guilt means vital remembrance work other Red Guards like Wang are fighting for can't take place.
We have a selective memory in China. We underwent the Cultural Revolution and chose to ban all talk of it. We hid it. As a result, lots of Chinese people have no idea. And yet we must talk about what happened. It's not just me who has to cope with this memory. It's the whole country and the society.
Such a process won't happen tomorrow in China. The government still doesn't allow national debate on the issue, as it could lead to the condemnation of Mao as a criminal and for the Communist Party to lose its legitimacy.
Well, let's go to Beijing now and speak to our correspondent there, Rebecca Hume. Rebecca, do you think the Chinese government wants to hear any repentance from the former Red Guards there?
Hello there. Yeah. Hello?
Hello, Rebecca, did you hear me there? I was saying, do you think the Chinese government wants to hear any repentance there from the former Red Guards?
Not at this time, no. It's not looking for that kind of repentance. It's not the right time for China to actually come out and make such repentance. It's really going to sort of bring into question the sort of hold and the dominance of the party here. I think people are just not ready. This book could be, this book that the former Red Guards want to write, it could be potentially a bestseller here in China. And really at this point, in terms of how people are feeling, it's just going to be too much talk within society.
And Rebecca, I know that you've also been looking at the newspapers there in China. A lot of, basically talking about discussions, if you like, to do with the decisions made over Syria just before the weekend at the G20.
Yeah, absolutely. Here's the Global Times headline, and it's saying that all the discussions dominating around the US campaign for military action, and it's very much quoting other media, actually, talking about what they're actually saying. Some of the criticisms, the article's full of quotations here. They're saying it could determine Obama's fate. They're also saying that the US have released all of these videos about the chemical weapons attack, and they're using that as part of their campaign. So it's really just highlighting that there's an intense campaign going on by the US, and this includes Obama's speeches that will go on this Monday, and also the nationwide speech tomorrow, where he's trying to convince the American public. So, you know, this comes amid protests that happened in the US over the weekend. So it's really just reporting on how intense the situation is in the US.
And Rebecca, also the paper's talking about some good news that we've had for the Chinese economy. Did you hear me there, Rebecca? I was saying also the paper's talking about some good news we've had for the Chinese economy.
Yeah, we have the China Daily here. It's plastered all over the China Daily. It's talking about how exports have seen a huge increase in August, 7.2%. So that's trade exports. In comparison, July was just 5%. So it's a huge increase year on year. And they're talking about the fact that the US is up 9% and exports with Europe is up 3.2% as well.
Rebecca, thanks so much. That's Rebecca Hume, our correspondent, joining us there from Beijing. That was today's Asia Live. Well, that's all from me for now. I'll be back, of course, in an hour's time with more Live from Paris. The programme, though, continues after the break. Aurore Dupuis is going to be here today. She'll be talking shortly to our correspondents in Damascus and in Moscow as well. That's with Aurore Dupuis, the very latest news after the break. And the weather here on France 24. Stay with us if you can.